Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anita Newby and today I'm going to be reviewing a movie for you entitled I Care a Lot. This movie came out on Netflix in February of 2021 and there has been a lot of talk and discussions about this movie because there's a lot to talk about. And we even have a recent Golden Globe win for this film. So if you've watched the movie, stay tuned. I'd love to get your thoughts. And if you haven't, I'll kind of give you an overview and it may intrigue you. So stay tuned for my review of I Care a Lot. I care a lot. Now, do you? This movie was something else. I'm here to tell you, if you have not been exposed to this film, hang on to your hat if you decide that you're going to go down this road, because this movie was pretty intense. Let's just start off with a kind of overview of what the movie is about. In a nutshell, this movie is about a court-appointed guardian for people who are elderly and are not able to take care of themselves, but she's completely crooked. Yep, that's what the movie's about. A crooked legal guardian. Yep, that's it. That's what you got. And I know it may sound plain and simple, but this movie is far from plain and simple. This movie is intense. Now, it is classified in terms of genre as a thriller or a comedy. And I know some people are like, it's not a comedy, it's not funny. It's a dark comedy. So there were some very humorous moments, if that's what your sense of humor is like, in this film, but it definitely thrilling. It's totally accurate because there were so many emotions entailed with this movie. All right, let's talk about the writing and the acting. I felt that this movie was very well written. I felt that all of the characters, likable or not likable, were very believable. I felt like the things that they did, the things that they experienced, while ridiculous, it was still believable because it was so well done. And that's in my opinion, that's a commentary on the writing and a commentary on the directing. The acting was superb. There were some standout actors in it. If you do not know, Rosamund Pike, who is the lead actress in this film, won the Golden Globe for the best actress in a comedy or musical. And again, it's a dark comedy, so that's why she was classified in that genre. But she did an excellent job because she was awful, and I hated her, and I wanted to fight her, and there were moments where I thought, oh, can I find her and take her down? But then I had to remember that it was fiction, and I couldn't do that. But she was totally convincing in her role, totally convincing. There were some other good performances as well. Dianne West, in my opinion, was phenomenal. The way her character, she was more of a supporting character, but the movie was kind of about her and revolved around her and her well-being. But man, oh man, some of the deliveries that she gave in that movie when she was realizing what was going on and that there may be some underlying funny business in what was happening in her situation, when you saw her character go from this confident person to being confused and then her confidence coming back and her having some realizations of other things, she played the full gamut of it so well, okay? But Rosamund Pike, let's get back to her for a moment. She is the lead character in this. She is the guardian or the legal custodian, a court-appointed, guardian. And she was a hot mess. And let me just be honest. I don't know of anyone in a movie that I have liked less. I could not stand this woman. And I'm sure I'm probably not the only one who shares this opinion, but she was straight up crazy. And she didn't know she was crazy. I don't think she was crazy. She was gangster. She was committed. She was smart. It was a terrible combination of attributes that caused her to go really, really far. And it was disturbing and it was upsetting. There were points in this movie where I just wanted all of it to stop. I wanted the action to stop. I wanted to stop the movie. There were times where I considered turning the movie off, but at that point I was too curious and I said, oh, I have to see what's going to happen with this. Again, and looking back at her, she was so convincing. And one of my friends reminded me that this is the same woman who was in Gone Girl. Lord have mercy. So I'm just wondering, I mean, she does great at crazy. So maybe that's her specialty. Maybe on her resume, it says crazy. And that's what she plays well, because she was crazy in Gone Girl too. I hated that movie and won't watch it anymore. Very, very disturbing to me. And this movie was also disturbing, but did I like it? I did. I have a real tried and true love-hate relationship with this movie. I loved it and I hated it. When I think about what was happening and the actions that were taking place, there was such intense emotion on my part. Like, I was so emotionally involved and invested in this movie. I had such strong feelings. And for me, and this might just be my crazy way of thinking, but one of the things for me that denotes a good artistic project, whether it's a film, music, play, whatever it is the ability to invoke emotion. And let me tell you, as an artistic work, this invoked a lot of emotion. This child made me want to kill her, okay? I mean, looking back, I look at Mr. from The Color Purple and I'm like, compared to this heifer, not so bad. I think about the dude from Training Day. I can't even watch that movie anymore. I think his name was Alfonso. I don't know, Denzel's character. Could not stand him. But now I'm thinking, he's tolerable compared to this woman. I mean, I don't know who I would equate her to in terms of a villain. She was a absolute superb, believable villain. Maybe Thanos. Maybe I don't like Thanos. I don't know. Maybe she's comparable to him, but she was a hot mess. And she played her character so convincingly. She was fully committed. Her character in the movie was fully committed to the goal she was trying to bring forth, but it was frustrating. And let me say this. I had some conversations with some people, and I know somebody was telling me that they didn't know who to root for. It was hard to like the movie because they didn't know who to root for. Oh, let me tell you, Anita had no trouble figuring out who to root for. I was rooting for the angry elf, the South Pole elf. You know, my man from Elf. You know, what's his name from Game of Thrones? Tyrion Lannister. I only saw 4 episodes of Game of Thrones. It was fantastic, but I was too far behind to get invested. But Tyrion Lannister, and his name is Peter Dinklage. Honey, he brought the fire, okay? First of all, I think he's phenomenal as an actor. He can do drama, he can do comedy, he can do it all. And in this movie, you know, you didn't expect to see him. I didn't know he was in it before I watched it, but I was so pleased to see him because he's a favorite of mine and I really enjoy him. But his character, and even though his character wasn't necessarily what we would call a good guy, his character was the one who could stand toe to toe with the main character. So I immediately began to root for him. I wanted him to win. And no, he wasn't a good guy. And, you know, there's some things that were questionable about his business practices as well. But I sure would have taken him over her any day. So let me tell you, this movie, I encourage you to watch it. I really, really liked the movie. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it an 8.75 because I was so emotionally invested in it. And I just, if you can handle the subject matter, because it is disturbing, I encourage you to watch it. Now, there are a few takeaways because after watching the movie, I just had several thoughts about several things. You know, when you look at a villain, sometimes you can relate to a villain and you can root for them sometimes because you find some redeeming qualities. This villain, I guess she had redeeming qualities. Let's talk about some of the things that made her effective. You know, she was committed. If you've seen the movie, you know she was committed. She had a goal. She had a plan. There was something that she was willing to do, and she would not stop no matter what. She was totally committed. She had complete focus. She was able to look at a goal, pinpoint the goal, and go after the goal. She said, this is what I want to do. Nothing can stop me. I mean, nothing can stop me. Almost nothing can stop me, okay? She was totally committed. She was resilient, you know, when you thought it was all over, lo and behold, here she comes again. You know, she's resilient. She doesn't give up. Let's see, what else redeeming can we say about this character? She was smart. She was very smart. She was convincing. Some people call it manipulative. Let's just say for our discussion today, we're going to say she's convincing. She was very convincing, even to the people that she was dealing with in the film. So I guess she had some redeemable qualities, but there was nothing about her that I liked. And if you're wondering, I don't want to give anything too much away. Hopefully I've intrigued you enough to watch the film, but I will just say from my perspective, the ending of the film was appropriate. That's all I'm going to say, in case you haven't seen it, but it was appropriate to me and I was fine with it. But I did have some other thoughts as I was watching the movie, just some life takeaways, some things that we can consider, because one of the things about art is that, yeah, you want to enjoy it and you want to have a good time, but sometimes it makes you think and there's some takeaways that you want to have. So one of the things that I just want to say is check on your old people. If you've got old people in your life, check on them, whether it's grandma, grandpa, Aunt Jane, Sally Sue, great grandma, whoever these old people are in your life, check on them. You know, make sure they're okay. And if you don't think you have any old people in your life, you might be the old people in your life. So whoever your friends are probably old too. Okay, I hope I'm not offending anybody. But make sure that you check on people. You know, it was just so interesting that the moment, you know, that they went after a particular character in the movie because they thought she had no ties. They thought that no one was looking for her. They thought that she wouldn't be missed if anything happened to her. And they were sorely mistaken, very, very mistaken. But you just want to make sure that you check on those people in your life, you know. You want to make sure of that. And I know sometimes we think, oh my goodness, it is so great to be independent and I don't have to answer to anybody and nobody knows what I'm doing on a daily basis. Listen, this movie made me want to make sure I check in with my friends. Listen, I want somebody to know where I'm going, when I'm going to be back. And if you don't find me, call 911. Figure out what's going on, because I might have got a crazy custodian who thought I couldn't take care of myself. Anyway. But those are some of the things for us just to think about. And, you know, like I said, this movie, to me, it was really, really good. I love it and I hate it simultaneously. Is it something I could watch again? Possibly. Because now knowing the ending, there are some things I kind of want to look back on. But again, I thought it was very well done. I thought it was a very, very well done movie in terms of acting and directing, and the writing I thought was very good. And I thought it had an interesting message, and it's not something that's so far-fetched that it's not believable. You know, although it's a fictional movie, there are some real life scenarios where this could happen. And so I do encourage you to watch it. If you can handle a really, really, really obnoxious villain, if you can handle that, if you can handle watching somebody being taken advantage of, I encourage you to watch the movie, because to me, it was brilliantly done. And I do care. I learned what I care about. I learned that I cared about the outcome of the movie. I learned that I care about the old people in my life, you know, and I might be on my way to being an old person, but not quite yet. So again, that is my review of I Care a Lot. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have villains, you know, if you can think of any movies that have villains that are comparable to her, please list it in the comments. I'd love to hear that. Thank you so much for tuning in. I ask you that you will subscribe if you haven't, because I'm going to be releasing a movie review. I'm trying to do at least once a week. And so I want to keep you in the loop on that. And if you have movies that you want me to review, please list it in the comments and I will respond, and hopefully I can get it on my list. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy my review of I Care a Lot.